The following episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show was recorded before the SAG-AFTRA strike began. Our guest is in full support of the strike and stands in solidarity with the efforts of fellow SAG-AFTRA actors in their fight for fair wages and protections.
Hey, I'm Carly Shiraki. I'm one of the hosts of Sunny Side Up on Sprout, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, the podcast where nostalgia comes alive. Since July of 2021, Jake and his friends have interviewed professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and many more. Who will they be chatting with in this week's interview? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Happy here with us today. I'm your host, Jake Deffinbaugh, and with me as always, our co-hosts, Chris Bixby and Matt Bingel. How you guys doing?
Hello, we're doing good, Jakey.
Yes, doing good as always. How about you?
That's great. I'm doing great. As always, Chris,
Good.
what do we have for today?
Very excited about today's guest. She is an actress. For several years, she was a co-host on the Sunny Side Up show on Sprout. She's done a lot of theater work. She's done some other TV and film work outside of Sunny Side Up. We're here to talk about that and some other things she's done as well. And here she is, Kaitlin Becker. Kaitlin, happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course,
Yes,
happy to have you here.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. So
My
to start this off, could you tell our audience just like a bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I'm an actor and a writer and a singer, and right now I'm mostly known for playing the character Meekah as part of the Blippi franchise. And prior to that, I was a host on the Sunny Side Up show, and all the things in between, which I'm sure we'll get into it. It was a lot of improv, a lot of voiceover, writing. I try to do a little bit of everything.
Nice.
There you go. There you go. So what was your background like, and how did you grow up?
So I grew up in Northern Kentucky, so Midwest, but also kind of Southern upbringing. And I got really into the theater department in my high school. That's kind of how it all started. I did my first musical my freshman year, and I knew right then and there I wanted to perform for the rest of my life. So I ended up going to college at Northern Kentucky University and got my BFA in musical theater. And then I moved to New York in 2007. But yeah, my background, I grew up in a predominantly white town. I'm biracial. I'm half Black, half white. And, everybody knew everybody. It was a very lovely upbringing, but I craved diversity and a faster paced world. So I was always itching to get out and move to the big cities. So I eventually did it. Yay!
Yay!
Awesome. So what
Oh,
made you want to get into acting?
So when I started doing theater in high school, like truly the first rehearsal for that musical, as they say, like getting bit by the acting bug, it happened. Like I felt like it was a natural high. Like this feels so good. I really like performing in front of an audience, making people laugh. I just loved everything about it. And I always had that in my bones. Like as a kid, I was always entertaining my parents. Like at night, I would go in their bedroom and do these little skits and impressions and things. And my mom would be crying, laughing. And my dad would be like, please go to bed. Like you have school tomorrow. wait. I was like, one more thing. I have another bit. And I would like leave and then come in as another character. And that's how I was as a kid. So I always had that in me of like, I got a bit. Does anyone want to watch? And so yeah, like since forever.
Now I'm curious, who would you say were some of your biggest influences to get into acting?
Well, my mom introduced me to a lot of older female comedians like Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett. And she used to say, like, you remind me of Carol Burnett. You should see her in Once Upon a Mattress. And I was like, yeah, I love
yes.
her. I want to do that. And I remember I got a VHS with a few episodes of I Love Lucy when I was really little. And I watched the classic Vitamin Benjamin episode. And I was laughing so hard that I started crying. And it was the first time I had ever done that. Like, I was really young, and it felt so good to laugh that hard. And I was like, whoa, I want to make people feel that good. And so I've always been like, that's the feeling that I'm always running after. You know, like, I love laughing. I love when people tell me stories, and I want to do the same for others. So yeah, growing up, I really was just drawn to funny women. And yeah, so Lucille Ball, she's actually like all over my apartment. Yeah, and Carol Burnett. And then actually, wow, I really carried those two ladies. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else as prominent as those two, and I don't think there is.
Well, no, definitely good answers, definitely.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
So now, in terms of the Sunny Side Up show, what was the audition process like for getting on that?
So I had to send in a video that was, you know, well, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. My brain's going faster than my mouth. So you had to send in a video singing their Sunny Side Up Happy Birthday song.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You had to make up a theme. It was all like making things up on your own. It was like, make up a theme, explain an activity, sing the birthday song. And so I sent in a video to the casting director, and then they called me in person, and it was all improv. They had a stuffed animal on a stool. They said, pretend that's Chica. That's the chicken. That's Chica. I'm like, okay. And the stuffed animal looked like so sad, like an old, think of like a stuffed animal that got like ran over by a car. Like, I was like, really? Like, it's just like, I might even have a picture of it. It was just the saddest, like, tiny, skinny, like, I don't know. Like, like, imagine this is Chica. And then they had a camera. They said, look at the camera, talk to the camera like that's a child. And it was just straight improv. So of you basically doing an episode of Sunny Side Up. And so I did that a few times. They called me back in, and then the final callback was in the studio in Philadelphia with Chica, the real Chica, and a puppeteer, the earpiece, the mic, the whole thing. It was basically like, this is exactly what it would be like to do the Sunny Side Up show. So they threw you in to see if you could handle it. I did a song, I did a craft, I did a game. It was like 45 minutes of being in that studio and just so sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a process. It was a long process, but it's a very, you know, specific and difficult job. So they had to make sure, you know, I could handle it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what was it like working with the other co-hosts? It
was so fun. We would get excited when we would get to work together because, you know, it'd be one host per week.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would be hanging off camera, like in the office, and we would be, you know, brainstorming together, and we were always pitching things so that we could hang out together. Like, or to be fun is if I play this game with Chica, I called on Carly. Anyone? Is that cool to like have an adult friend instead of just talking to the puppet? And so the times that we got to be together was so fun, because it would happen not often. And so when it did, we would just be so excited to be on air together and, you know, kind of like mess with each other. I love to see if I could make people break, or like, I loved it. So yeah, we're still, you know, really good friends. I was just at Emily's baby shower on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
I just recorded something for Tim. literally 2 weeks ago. And then I've been talking to Carly all morning. Like we're still all, you know,
Ah,
a
Oh,
lot of love there.
Yeah, Carly's a good friend. She's actually a previous guest of ours too.
Yes,
Yes, she
I
is.
saw that.
Yes, she
I
is.
saw that. Yeah. You actually, I was like flipping through all the people, not flipping, I guess, scrolling through everyone that you've interviewed. And I
it's
was
like,
like,
Carly, oh my gosh.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I love so many of these people. So
They're
Yeah.
all amazing.
Oh yes,
Yes.
they're wonderful.
So
Yes.
now, do you have any favorite segments you did on Sunny Side Up?
yeah, I have a lot. I loved anything where I got to play a character. So when I got to do the Queen Bee character, which was like Beyonce for kids, like there was definitely a turning point where, because I would kind of push the envelope a little bit to see like, are they gonna let me do this? And then they kept saying yes, and I'd push a little further. And then in the end, I had all these reoccurring characters that I was playing, like Jasmine and Jasmine's Hair Salon, and Coach K, which was influenced by Friday Night Lights, plus my own Kentucky high school football team, that coach, like just being able to bring some of myself into these silly characters. That was my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So who are some of your favorite guest stars to work with on Sunny Side Up?
My top three. Number one, Julie Andrews. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. she was the only, actually, she is the only celebrity that I've ever met in my life where I felt like I didn't know how to be a human anymore. Like I was like, how do you talk? How do you breathe? Like I was so
Right, yeah.
weird around her because, you know, she's someone I grew up admiring and loving, and to just have her in the Sunny Side Up space was so odd. Like, this is Julie Andrews. She's just hanging out with Chica today. And when I first met her that morning, I walked into the space and she was like, thank you so much for having me on your show. And I was like, what? Like I like couldn't make words. I just wanted to like bow down to her, like, Julie. And then second, Michelle Obama, like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And then third actually is Nia Vardalos. Do you know her? My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
I just love her so much. She also wrote and starred in a movie called Connie and Carla. I don't know if you've heard of it. But I was obsessed with that movie in college. It's about two women who witness a murder and they go into hiding. They run off to LA and they hide out as drag queens. It's like a silly, campy comedy. They sing a bunch of musical theater songs in it. Anyway, I was excited to meet her, and she was just really lovely and so kind, and we had a lot of fun together on the show.
Nice.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
also, what was it like appearing on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade float?
That was so fun. I miss it. Every Thanksgiving I have like a moment of just because like I grew up watching that parade every Thanksgiving. That was a family tradition of ours. And it was just magical. And so many people ask, like, but weren't you freezing? And did you have to stand outside for hours? And we were lucky because we were NBC talent. No, we didn't have to be outside for hours. They would keep us in this kind of like, it's a massive bus. Looks like a big tour bus. They would have all the talent on there and they would pull you out like right before your float left. So we would be warming a bus with like snacks and coffee. And then they'd be like, Sunny, set up, it's time. They'd pull us on to the float. We would do the route. Someone told us, don't forget to look all the way up. Because, you know, everyone's on the street waving and yelling, but they're like, make sure you look up. And there's people in all of the buildings, like up against the windows, all the way up in these high rises. You would see little kids, you'd see people on the roofs. And so I just got like chills thinking about it. It's just like very cool, especially to see kids like in the windows and trying to make eye contact with them and wave. But yeah, that was awesome. I ended up doing the parade four times.
Nice. Yeah, that's a beautiful float too. I remember seeing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a
amazing.
really, really cool looking float. Very
Yeah,
excited to
definitely.
be on it. Yeah.
absolutely. So moving on from the Sunny Side Up days, you've done some other TV and film work, including the 2014 remake of Annie.
Oh my gosh, let me tell you about this, y'all,
Please
because
do.
I barely, yes, clearly looked at my IMDb. I say on that movie, Miss Farrell, that is it. My line got cut so short because they want it to be 5 words or under, because there's like a certain pay. Once you go over 5 words, the pay rate goes up by a lot, like a
Wow.
significant amount. So they just kept cutting my line. So it was 2 words. But it was so fun because the scene that I'm in is with Rose Byrne and Jamie Foxx, and I hung out with them like all day long. I have Jamie Foxx's number. Like, we were texting for a bit after that movie. It was just a very surreal, like, strange thing. Because it was a very last minute thing too, when I got the job. And actually, fun fact, it was right before I started Sunny Side Up, and Jamie Foxx was asking me, do you have anything going on or coming up, like, work wise? And I said, oh, I don't know if you know this kids show, this preschool morning show, Sunny Side Up. And he's like, yeah, my daughter loves Sunny Side Up. And he started singing like the happy birthday song, and I was like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be a host on that show. And he was like, I write kids songs all the time. Do you want to hear them? And I was like, okay. Like, it was just such a surreal, strange thing to be talking about Sunny Side Up with Jamie Foxx on the set of the new Annie movie. So weird. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've had some interesting experiences with IMDb in the past.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
not the most reliable source, I will say.
Yeah.
It's always interesting because it's like sometimes it's like oh, you worked on this. No, I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I
didn't work
definitely
on that.
did. It's not a lie. It was, but it's just like, oh, it's just so
very
funny
short
because it's like literally 2 seconds of the movie, but it was, fun day for me. Fun day, good check, good conversation.
So over the years, you've also appeared in various commercials, including the More You Know commercials. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, that was really fun because who doesn't know the more you know?
Yeah.
Like, with the rainbow. So those commercials happened because More You Know is affiliated with NBC Universal, and so when I did Sunny Side Up, they pulled us host at different times throughout the years to do the More You Know commercials, and that was really, really fun. And also they let me keep the clothes when I left. They were like, you can keep those clothes. And I was like, oh, thank you, free clothes and my shoes. Yeah, it was that was a fun. Yeah, I did 2 commercials for them, and yeah, that was really cool. That was fun.
So you've also done a lot of theater acting too. How did that come into play for you?
Yeah, I did theater starting in high school, and then went to college for theater at Northern Kentucky University. I really thought that I would mostly do theater in my acting career. I moved to New York City, like telling everybody, like, I don't care what kind of show I'm doing or how much I'm getting paid. It could be a hole in the wall theater and I could be performing for pennies, but as long as I'm acting in the theater, like, took myself very seriously and was very proud to be a theater actor. But then maybe like 7 years into it and doing mostly musical theater, I really got burnt out and then refocused my career to TV film. But I still really, really love theater. I see shows all the time. Still holds a very special place in my heart. And I'm not completely done. Like, I would absolutely do, a stage show again.
I I'm curious, do you have any favorite theater productions you were in?
That I was in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did get to play Princess Winifred in Once Upon a Mattress, just like Carol Burnett. So that was a bucket
Nice.
list.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really fun. And yeah, that's like number one fave. I don't know. I did a lot of shows. A lot of shows. Now my brain, you know what? My senior year of high school, I got to play Maria in The Sound of Music, which I thought would never happen because I was like, I don't look like Maria. Maria's white. Like, just my world was so small and my brain was so small. And so I was shocked and honored to get that role, and it was a big deal, and it was really, really fun. Yeah. You're in Town in college. Do you all know that musical?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
doing that show. I love doing all the like really silly musical comedies, but Once Upon a Mattress was probably my number one favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice. One of the other productions you were in was Seussical the Musical as Bird Girl and also the dance captain. What was that experience like?
That's correct. Yes. So I did that show with TheaterWorks, and we toured for 6 months, and we did Seussical for children. Like, we were in theaters, but then we were also in schools and libraries, and that was really fun. It was a very hard job, being dance captain as well, because as you go to different spaces, like sometimes you'd be in a proscenium, sometimes you'd be in the round, and I would have to like kind of restage the show. I also was the understudy for the lead character and had to go on because he broke his foot. So that contract was crazy. But I love that show, and it was directed by Marcia Milgram Dodge, who directed the Ragtime revival on Broadway and is a bit of a name in the theater world here in New York. And so it was really, really cool to work with her. But yeah, I love Seussical the Musical.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Now, currently, you portray the role of Meekah in the highly successful Blippi video series, and I do want to bring this up. We've also had somebody who you worked on with that, the lovely and talented Miss Kelsey Brady, as a previous guest.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
right.
Very,
I
very
love her
good friend.
so.
Very good friend of
she's
mine.
so
Yeah, yeah.
amazing.
I love. Hi, Kelsey. If you're
Oh,
watching.
yes, I
Hi.
love her so much.
She is absolutely amazing. One of the most talented people I've ever gotten to know.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Kelsey puppeteers Scratch in Blippi's Treehouse on Amazon Kids Plus.
Mhm.
Fun show, I gotta say, very, very fun show. I enjoy it a lot.
Thank you.
Very, very fun
Enjoyed
show.
making it.
Hey, so what's it like working on it?
On Blippi's Treehouse?
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was one of the most summers I've ever had, the most fun summers I've ever had. It was
Mhm.
also like one of the hardest. We filmed for 10 weeks, Monday through Friday, 14-hour days. And if you've seen the show, you'll know, like, there's musical numbers, there's puppets, there's guests. We go out on what we call field trips because we leave the studio to do on-site things with these experts. And so it was really, really packed, but we all, like Steven, the creator of Blippi, and who is the original Blippi, we became like instant friends right away, and we just laughed all the time. Like, I don't know how I could have done that kind of schedule and that kind of show if he were any other way, because we just laughed all the time. Where he could have been like grumpy and tired and crying in the corner, we were laughing all the time. So it was really, really fun. And that was the first thing I did as Meekah, was Blippi's Treehouse. And so,
Wow.
yeah, so I only really knew about Blippi's Treehouse. I wasn't aware of what was in store after Treehouse.
I know, and I saw on your Instagram that Meekah actually recently got her own doll.
Yes, that's so crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, that's
know.
right.
Yeah, so
That's
Treehouse
amazing.
ended the summer of 2021, and I think in September or October, I recorded the voiceover lines for the Meekah doll.
Ah,
And so I've just been waiting, and I was like, maybe it's not coming out because like it's been a long time since I recorded those lines. Like maybe they're gonna do something else, you know. So it was kind of a surprise for me too. That picture that I posted of me holding the doll, I took the week before I posted that. So I'm just as like thrilled and surprised as everyone else. Like they handed me the doll to do a promo, and I was like, wait, what? I didn't know this was happening. Yeah.
Yeah, such a talented cast on that show, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was so
yes.
that like truly it's what made it like such a fun summer. Like I said, that schedule was no joke. The show was really hard, but thank God we had a lovely, you know, kind, supportive cast and crew.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. And you actually are also a part of us doing a Italian podcast with Carly Shiraki, Hey Story Go.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yes.
I'm kind of wondering, how did that come about?
How did it come about? Hey, Story
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
So Carly and her friend Mark Cantone, the two of them created the idea for Hey Story Go, and pitched it to Pinna Audio. They loved it and said, let's give it a go. And they were looking for a co-host, and Carly recommended me. Carly's one of my best friends, and she told them, you know, we're gonna have good chemistry. We're gonna have fun. I think you should hear us together. So we sent them just kind of like a scratch, the two of us improvising a story, and they liked it. So that's how they came to be, and it's been really fun. I've gotten to write a couple episodes and songs for that show, and it's a blast. I love that show. I'm always pushing that show to people with kids, like, dear kids, do you want to listen to a cool podcast? Like, check out Hey Story Go, get Pinna Audio, goodbye. I think it's so awesome. Like I'm really proud of that show. So thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw I'm sure the collaboration with Miss Rachel with Meekah.
Oh my God. You know what's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll
Hey,
be,
you,
I think
come
that's
here.
gonna come out
Come here.
next month, I think.
So
No way.
I'm not supposed to be a part of this. What are you bringing me out for?
No way.
Hi, Marty. Hi. The only reason I'm out here is because I get compared to Miss Rachel's puppet a lot.
Right.
Yes, he does. Built by Silly Puppets. Although I will need a rebuild. I've been around for 3 years. I think it's time for a rebuild soon. But yeah, it's funny. Miss Rachel's mentioned. I get compared to that a lot. That
I
and
bet
Elmo.
you do.
What are you doing out here, Bean? I'm the one that's being compared, not you.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Okay, fine. Hey, I didn't mean that in a bad way. Ay.
So
fine.
So now, what would you like to say to those who have supported the projects you've worked on over the years and who have kind of supported you throughout your career?
I mean, truly, I know, like I post this on social media a lot to the fans and the followers. Like I get overwhelmed with the messages and just nice comments and videos people will send me showing their support, because it felt like this with Sunny Side Up too. It can feel like a bit lonely, these jobs. Like Sunny Side Up, where it was just, you know, a host, a puppeteer, and you're talking to one single camera. And you kind of forget that there's like thousands of people watching you in that moment. And it's the same for Meekah, because when I film Meekah stuff, the crew's really tiny, but you know, it's me talking to a camera again. And I forget that people all over the world are watching these episodes, because I film them and then I go about my business. I go back to my real life. And so when I get messages and people showing me support, I'm like, oh yeah, y'all are watching this? Thank you so much. Because if people weren't watching, then the character wouldn't exist, like the reason there's a Meekah doll is because so many people tuned into Meekah and love Meekah. So just a big fat thanks. I couldn't do anything in this career without support.
Of course.
So yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So if people would like to connect with you, where can people find you?
They can find me on all the things. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm at Kaitlin Bex, Bex. I just haven't changed it. When I first got Instagram in like 2013 or something, I don't know why.
Oh my gosh.
I had a friend that called me K-Bex. I had a group of friends that called me K-Bex, and that's why it's Kaitlin Bex, and I just never changed it.
Nice. And your social media and your website will be in the description down below, so people can follow you or connect.
Cool. Yeah, connect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So since we're about to wrap up, so the last question that Matt's about to ask is a question that we usually ask to all of our guests at the end of each interview.
Yes, of course, this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. When you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how would you define the word nostalgia in your own words?
In my own words, I describe nostalgia as the first thing that comes to mind is like a hug. Like anything I get nostalgic for, it's just like the same feeling as getting like a big squishy, like comforting hug.
Oh,
Great
word, send off.
Well, Kaitlin, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This was really fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to chat. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, of course. And thank you so much for what you've done, especially with Sprout. Because we've been growing watching Sprout a lot, especially in Sunny Side Up. So thank you for what you've done to be a part of our lives. Keep up great work. And what's next in store for you, especially for Blippi's Treehouse and everything else too. So.
Well, thank you for your support.
And anything.
Yeah.
Thank you. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah.
Take care.
Yes, keep in touch. I'll let you know when this goes up.
Yeah, please do. I'll put it out into the world.
Nice.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye, Kaitlin.
Bye.
Bye, Kaitlin. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. It's goodbye from us as well.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
Goodbye
indeed.
Yes.
We're absolutely enjoying Kaitlin Becker. It's gosh, one of the Sunny Side show hosts.
Yes, and like
Blippi's
Blippi's
Treehouse. Check it out on Amazon Kids Plus.
Check out Hey Story Go as well. The second season.
Yes, check that out too. Season 2 available now.
And check out, be on the lookout for more wonderful interviews. And as always, what do we say, Jake?
Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone, and see you next time. Fun episodes coming your way. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show interview. Be sure to follow Jake and the crew on social media and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.